Hey everybody, it's Coach Mattingly on episode 11 with Giants Talk. We are coming off of our 64-0 win against the Telfs Patriots. Back at home in Actionburg, we had a great crowd. Thank you guys for coming, and now we move on to 7-2 and 6-1 in the AFL. This coming week we have Telfs again. A little strange, but that's how the schedule makers decided to do things this year. Our players of the week from the past game is quarterback Bastian Steinmeier. And defense was the entire defense, only giving up 25 yards in the game. So shout out to Bastian and the rest of the offense scoring 64 points, and then the entire defense only giving up 25 total yards in a shutout. So great job to everybody. We welcome our first guest of the day, Coach Cody Kent. Second time on the show this year. Welcome back, dude. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, of course, as always. So 64-0 win. Everybody got in on both sides. Not the best opponent, but it's good to get some confidence back. And on the offensive side, passing the ball, doing a bit of everything, running the football. So how did you feel the players did, the guys that don't play much, especially our MVP Bastian finally getting tons of snaps? How do you think that whole situation worked last Saturday for the guys?
I thought it was quite cool because, he started for the Bears last year, a majority of the games. I think he started, 6 to 8 games last year.
Yeah.
So, he's not new to the AFL, so he got some experience last year. So I think it was just really good for him because he's putting in the same amount of work as everyone else. Mm-hmm. So it's really nice to see him get his opportunity to shine and play at the level that no one ever gets to see and that he does perform in practice. So I think it's quite nice to let him have that stage, and he kind of took advantage of it with his 2 big runs.
Yes, he did.
He dual threat out there, right?
Yeah, he's doing his best.
And then moving on to the next game, he'll get to start the whole game.
Yeah.
Not let Nick play. That's going to be really nice for Bastian because he'll get a whole 4 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was really neat to get him out there, get him in the flow, and let him show his confidence.
No, for sure. And then we also had 2 first-time touchdowns. Max Heidlago and Paul Kreuzberger. Yeah, Max and Paul got their first touches. It was important, I think, also to get Max coming back from his broken finger. Paul getting acclimated from Division II to the AFL. So had the progression you've seen from those guys. And I know Max being out for 8 weeks, but then coming back, and Paul's progression throughout the year. How has that been as having more receiver depth maybe than in the past?
Because I think we do have a depth issue at outside receiver. Mm-hmm. So having Max back. And what was so great was it was just such a seamless transition. Mm-hmm. He came back and, he just immediately started right where he left off. Mm-hmm. So that was really neat. Him winning on that choice route, it was quite cool. The touchdown. Yeah. And then Paul, his very first touch ever in the AFL of his career was a touchdown. So
True.
So that's something he'll probably never forget in his life, and I think that's quite awesome. I think it gave him I don't want to say false sense of confidence, but he's walking a little different now. He's strutting a little different. So, then Hafner as well getting some touches.
True. Yeah.
What was really amazing about that game was every single available skill player touched the ball on Saturday, and that's what was awesome. Yeah. So all guys got an opportunity to catch the ball, run the ball, and move with it and run around.
How many guys was it? 9? 10? Yeah,
10.
That's awesome. 10 guys can have catches and have to touch the ball is really impressive.
And Fabian really showed out. He had a receiving touchdown and rushing touchdown.
True,
So, he kind of did it all.
Yeah, shout out to running back Pleasnick from D-Line and fullback last year, now to a skill player. Yeah. And lastly, normally never do you play the same team in a row back-to-back weeks without a bye or a holiday week in between. So how does going about, yes, we won the game convincingly, but going about playing the same team 2 weeks in a row, back-to-back weeks, knowing their situation, but just in general, how does that throw things off, or does it make it life a bit easier? How do you go about maybe scheming things, offensive side of the ball, do what works? How do you view that standpoint?
It's good in a sense that we can see the same personnel 2 weeks in a row. So we kind of know who's the nickel, we know who the D-lineman is, who's the safety, corner, etc. So we kind of know who to attack, we know who to try to pick on, we know where the strengths and weaknesses are of the defense. So there's that advantage. The other advantage is trying to eliminate the complacency within the offense, right? So let them not, play to a lower level or them getting relaxed, right? Kirby Smart said, right, the disease that creeps in is complacency, right? And that's what we want to try to eliminate. And that's going to be the goal this week, is not let the guys kind of chill and not play to our lower level and still keep the pace high, still keep the level at a high level.
Perfect, yeah. Well, Cody, thanks for being here. Great having you as always. Giants Nation, if you guys want to come out Saturday, we play in Telfs, Tirol area on this Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff. So if you want to come support, come as you always do, be loud, bring the drums and horns. And then in about 2.5 weeks, we have our next and last home game of the regular season against the Vikings. Tickets are already on sale, so make sure you guys get that and pack the house for the big one in about 2.5 weeks. But first, coming up, Telfs. I know it's a long trip, but bring yourself out there and support Giants Nation as you guys always do. Go Giants. Our second guest today for Giants Talk is Stefan Dirnberger. Stefan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Coach.
Of course, as always. So, yeah, 64-0, 25 total yards from the defense, 1 yard in the second half. How did it feel, I guess, dominating an opponent as we did? It's been a while, I think really since the Bears game last year where we had that. So just that feeling of, yeah, it's kind of something we needed to do, wanted to do, expected to do, but to actually do it on the field, is there a feeling that comes with that, or just anything to sum that up? Yeah.
You know, I think it was pretty important after the last 2 games, which we unfortunately lost, that we, you know, get a little bit our confidence back, and we knew the opponent had their issues, and we knew our strengths, and I think that's why the expectation of this game was set so high. And you know, I'm happy that we could fill up those expectations and get some playing time. I mean, I think everybody on defense played, or not only defense but offense. Max and Paul scoring their first touchdowns is a massive thing, and it's perfect that we are now in like week 7 and week 8. Where we can get those guys in and get ready to being able to put them in as soon as they needed to. And I think it was a great opportunity. Shout out to Telfs for fighting through this with the few amount of guys. So I'm just happy for the defense to get the job done. That was the expectation. We got it done, and that's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, no, 100%. And shout out to Telfs, as you said, to showing up with 21 players. Their coach is one of the players, doing everything they can, not giving up. You got to give props to them for even being able to compete and come out there every week and keep on fighting. But yeah, so kind of on your standpoint, transition from end to tackle last year with the injury of Gast, did quite well at tackle, left you at D tackle. Now Maxie being hurt, who will be back, so Giants fans, Giants Nations, don't worry, he's coming back sooner than later. But you've had to take that role now of moving back outside. How has that transition been a bit? Getting used to being inside with the big guys to now you're an edge rusher in a sense. So
yeah, even though you told me, you're gonna stay at free take and we're not gonna move you, I had it in my mind back there, so that maybe some point of the season comes where I'm allowed to play because I really appreciate it, because it's just a little bit different thing again, and I'm feeling pretty comfortable, and with Coach Sabi's approach to the whole D-line philosophy, it's for me pretty easy, I would say, to get back to free tag, move back to end. You need 1 or 2 games to get into it, but I'm feeling comfortable because we all at the D-line know our total scheme, and I think if you can get your hands down in the dirt and what to do, there is no easier thing to do. You just have to execute, and we are all drilled to just execute, and that makes the job pretty good. And I'm just happy to see a little bit more of the outside of the field, but I'm still ready to get back inside if Maxi comes here, because as we all know, he will be a factor for the playoffs and for the last 2 games in the regular season.
For sure, yeah. And he will be back eventually at some point, maybe Vikings week, who knows, Prague, playoffs. We'll just have to wait and see, and then your edge days will soon come to an end. But also this year, as you kind of begged the last 2 years, you haven't gotten a ball yet. You probably will never get a ball, but taking some reps on the offensive side as wing, fullback, tight end, whatever you want to call it? How does it feel to at least all the asking, and now Cody's kind of put you in a heavy set formation to do a little something different than just defense all the time? Yeah, you're just still smashing people as normal, but to do it in a different side, how is that feeling that, hey, I can also help my team get into the end zone and score touchdowns on short yardage?
I mean, to be honest with you, for me, it's a huge sign of trust, that, coaches believe you can do the job. And I think it's pretty funny, to line up together with Sam most of the times, and you're there and you're seeing actually, or you can imagine who you're blocking, because on the defensive side of the ball, you often don't know, is he coming away from me, is somebody else coming to block me, and there, okay, that's my key, and that's my job that I have to do. So it's pretty funny, and seeing Nick playing the call and being in the huddle, clapping, and then lining up. It's just a different experience. And it's getting serious when you go to the 2-yard line and we get into the formation. So it's good for me that Cody shows me the sign of trust. To do that, and I'm just happy to help our offense in a certain way.
Yeah, perfect, man. Well, appreciate you being here as always on the show. And as we said earlier, Giants Nation, 3 p.m. in Telfs. Come out and support us. You guys do a great job, and we're looking at getting our 7th win in the AFL, 8th overall. If we do so, we'd be 7-1, and setting up that huge game for the Vikings in 2 weeks, as we said. Get your tickets now, early and in advance and pre-sale, and support us like you always do. You guys are the best fan in Austria, and go Giants.